Hello and welcome to Raven's Arcana. I am Raven. This is your timeless tarot spread, not bound to any day, week, month, or year. And we're going to see what message that the cards are supposed to guide us towards. I hope everyone is hanging in there, having an amazing day. I hope you continue to have an amazing day after this reading, depending on where it leads us and what we need to focus on. And let's get down and dirty. Let's see what we're working with. So we have the Prince of Pentacles or the Knight of Pentacles. Someone that is hardworking. Someone that's very methodical. Someone that puts a lot of effort into what they do, what they work on. We have the Ace of Swords. So your mind is very clear. You're typically a very analytical person. You think about things before you do them. You look at the big picture, aspects of the entire situation holistically, which ties into your hard work, your effort, your methodical nature once again. And it does require a lot of strength, right? That Leo energy, you have a spark in you that might be difficult sometimes to keep under wraps. But you're very good at keeping your head on straight, if you will, having that clarity that leads you down the path where you stay on course. You're very routine-oriented. You're very task-oriented. And we double down on that, look at the sun, the energy. You're a very creative person. You're very energetic. And I think it is very difficult for you. I think you're a very confident person. I don't think arrogance is coming out here. I think others might perceive you as arrogant. But you definitely stand out among your peers. And I don't know, based on all of this energy over here, if they're actually on the same level as you. Your hard work, your mental acuity, along with all of this creative nature and passion. And I think you reel it in. This could have to do with work. I think you're really a firecracker, and in a good way. Now, others might not perceive you that way. Once again, someone that is very confident, someone that always gets the job done, very routine, very, routine-oriented, very regimented, and highly intelligent, along with all the creative ability. You have a lot of balance here. A lot of people see that as threatening to them because they are not hardworking, because they do not think through holistically about a situation before they start taking action, saying things. And, you're a threat to weak people. And the phrase, don't mistake kindness as weakness. Don't mistake confidence and strength and all of this power and passion is arrogance, right? Yeah. I mean, look at, you have 2 aces in there. So I think you are about to begin a new journey here. You have that ultimate spark. Something is going to ignite that flame inside of you that you keep under wraps. You keep your head down, almost under the radar, but you're very perceptive. And I think something's about to happen for you in a good way. I think there's going to be a major change in your life. And once again, currently I'm getting work. You know, what you do to obviously gain resources, right? To pay your bills, to invest, put money into savings, buy your freedom. And we always talk about when work comes up in these readings that a lot of us aren't really in the job we're supposed to be in. We're not in a job that takes advantage of all of our creative abilities, all of our analytical skills. And honestly, they don't reward us for our hard work. And so I think a change is coming with that ace, you know, and with the wands tying into that passion, that creativity. Once again, you know, something's going to light that internal spark that you always have just kind of pulsating inside of you, always ready to break out. And let's see where that takes you. Yeah. So we have the Hanged Man. And when we think about the Hanged Man, a lot of times we talk about self-sacrifice. And if we're starting something new, I think this is you currently, and this has been you for a long time. So with that Hanged Man card, you have sacrificed part of your soul, part of your passion, and looked at what you were doing currently for work, for what some would say a career. I don't think you look at this as a career currently. This is biding your time until you figure out an outlet for your creativity, for your passion, that also falls into your work life. And so in this instance, the Hanged Man represents your state of being probably for the last couple of years, where you're just hanging out. And I think you have tried to balance your personal life with your work life. So we talk about work-life balance. And possibly you have always separated those thoughts, any emotions tied to them, because you've thought, well, I can feed my soul in my personal life, and work is just to gain the resources to fund, you know, creative projects, passion, your passion for life. And we talk about, you know, certain jobs not feeding our soul. I think that's true for a lot of people. I think there are very few people that essentially are able to follow their dreams and stumble upon or create something. It doesn't have to be by accident, but they create a life for themselves where they love what they do for work. And it becomes, you know, work and pleasure for them wrapped up all in one. And I think, yeah, so check this out. You know, a lot of major arcana in here. lot of major changes, a lot of big picture stuff is going to happen for you. So you've been hanging out, kind of suppressing all of this energy, all of your blessings that you were given. Let's be honest. You have the ability to commit to something, to work hard. You have a highly intelligent mind, very perceptive. And you also have all this essentially bottled up creativity and passion. And with the wheel, you know, and we talk about routine, we talk about regimen. Saturn is the wheel. So Saturn is, it can be restriction, but is also, you know, time. Those rules that we set forth for ourselves, staying in the lines, making sure every T is crossed off, every I is dotted. Once again, we talked about you are very methodical, very analytical, which feeds into that, but you have great balance, right? But Saturn can hold us down. Right? Saturn doesn't allow us to draw outside the lines, right? Very few people get rewarded for following the rules. And I don't mean laws or anything like that. When we talk about drawing outside the lines, we talk about outside of the box thinking, having a different perspective, and coming at situations from a different angle. And I think this is what this is talking about. You have an idea. And you have an idea, a business proposition, a new business, possibly a new position you're going to create that does draw outside the lines and is very outside of the box thinking, which is something we need right now. There's a lot of stagnation in the world. And I think you're feeling that too. You know, routine, your daily life can feel like that, definitely. But with the wheel, you know, it's all about timing. And I think you're just biding your time, hanging in there, and waiting for the time to wave that wand and start laying out your future. Now, as we see the Seven of Swords come up, I don't think anyone can take you off of your path but you. So in this instance, the Seven of Swords is you getting in your own head. You having self-defeating thoughts. Maybe self-sabotage. So while you are very confident in all of your abilities, getting outside of your comfort zone, drawing outside the lines, possibly leaving a position or a job that gives you stability and feeds into that methodical nature, is going to be scary, and it would be scary for anyone else, right? Especially in this economic climate. But, you know, creativity and passion don't follow any rules. Typically, you can't sit down and say, I'm going to write the best song ever. I'm going to paint the best canvas I've ever painted. I'm going to be extremely creative today. It comes in waves. It comes in cycles. We're looking at the wheel. And because you haven't found the right time, I think the idea is, let's say the wheels are turning on how to make that next step. You also have, you know, the dualistic nature of the sword. So while you are very perceptive. You are highly intelligent. That doesn't mean that internally there isn't some struggle there. And you've talked yourself out of probably starting this, probably going down this path, because you want to be smart about it. But I think there's really some self-sabotage in there that almost disallows that flow of creativity to occur. Now, we talked about your hard work. We talked about your mental just strength, let's be honest, and that fiery wands passion. We get into the cups. I think maybe something else has happened here. You've tried this before, and you didn't get the response. It did not gain traction, and it wasn't the right time. And because you are so passionate and have that fire inside of you, when you have a loss, when you put all your cards on the table and you go all in on something and it doesn't work out, and you have to walk away from it, it's essentially a death of part of your soul. You've created almost this version. You've birthed a portion of yourself and given it to the universe. And when it fails, when it dies, it is a small death of the self. And so that would feed into why you talk yourself out. I can't do this. I don't want to go down that path again. I don't want to risk it all. And, you know, it might not have been a risk that would have financially ruined you. It might not have been something that you had to walk away from your current job, career, position, or anything like that. It might have been something you tried to start small to get you out of all of this. But it's all about those small moments that become traumatic, right? And we talk about, you know, when you start something, and whether it's a project, anything that involves emotion, your mind, and you fail at it, or you have the perception of failure, especially with your passion, and you give it your all, it does feel like kind of a death, even if it's, you know, would be perceived as others by a small blip on your existence. And so let's look at another card. Yeah. So you have to dig deep. You know, Judgment is Pluto energy. Judgment is that below the surface. You know, it can be life and death, but it's very transformative. You know, you see the imagery on this card and most Judgment cards as a rebirth, right? Rising from the dead, rising from the ashes. It's all about transformation. And so what I see, based on the whole reading, is that, once again, you work your butt off. You're very methodical. You're very analytical. Your reason, your cognitive abilities are on point, which goes nicely with that hard work. But you have a lot of built up, you know, energy. and creativity inside of you that's not being utilized. And this is what you want to do. You want to wave that Ace of Wands with all that potential you have inside of you. All that you want to share with the world. You know, you want to cease and desist having to sacrifice that part of your passionate self. You need an outlet for it. And you're looking for the right time. You want to color outside the lines. You're tired of constriction, constraint. I mean, you're tired of being tied and, you know, you feel like you're bound. You know, you're a wild animal. You're the lion. You don't need to be in a cage. You need to let everything out that you have inside of you. But because you've allowed yourself out of that cage before and it didn't work out, you were deeply scarred by that. And you know, those scars, those emotional events that we have, if we don't process them, we allow those to affect our thoughts and how we think about ourselves in situations. And I think that turns into self-sabotage. And with this Judgment card ending the reading, I think this is a rebirth of self. You know, have the strength. Know that we don't exist on this planet for very long. When we talk about the sun, we talk about life, vitality, you know, that creative nature, what we came here to do. And you really got to dig deep, work through this emotional trauma. So it diminishes your self-sabotaging thoughts. And let the lion out of the cage. Share your passion. Share your creativity. Share your best part of yourself with the world. All right. Appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out. If you like the video, give it a like. If you enjoy the content, you can subscribe, hit the notification bell to get alerts when I release material. And yeah, as always, take care of yourself and have an amazing day.